I know you're going through it right now, and I want to say that I'm sorry. I'm sorry that somebody you trusted disappointed you. It feels like nothing will ever be the same again, and it probably won't. And that's because it's probably gonna be better. And in this video, I'm gonna tell you exactly what healed me from the biggest heartbreak of my life, how I reframed my brain, came out on the other side, and even some of my dating tips for after, so you don't have to figure out the season of life by yourself. I know you feel alone right now, but first I want to tell you that what you're going through is the most relatable thing on the planet. There's a reason songs are written about this, movies, plays. It is truly one of the most universal human experiences. And even though you feel alone right now, I bet if you go outside and sit on a plane or a train or walk down a busy street, there is somebody that is going through exactly what you are going through. I guarantee after this chapter of your life, you are going to be a stronger human being. First, I'm going to tell you my story so that you know that there's hope on the other side. I was in a relationship for 8 years, and I genuinely thought he was the love of my life. I remember sitting there thinking to myself, wow, there goes the best chapter of my life. And I was sad for a really long time. And now that I'm on the other side of it, a year and a half later, I have genuinely never been so happy that something didn't work out. I have never felt so myself. And I genuinely wake up happy every single day. I go to sleep happy every single day. So I'm gonna tell you exactly how I healed, these 7 actions that I took, and exactly how you're gonna reframe your brain to be the happiest version of yourself that you've ever been. Number 1 is that you are going to give yourself every single thing that you lack. When you look back on your relationship, what was something that was missing? Was it emotional safety, consistency, effort? If you lacked consistency, how can you give that to yourself? It could be going to the gym, taking yourself on all the dates that you wanted to go on that you didn't get to go on, taking yourself on the trips that you never went on. When I was heartbroken that year, I went on 9 solo trips. I took myself everywhere that I always wanted to go, that I never got to go. I showed up and I booked myself the plane. I booked myself the hotel and I just took myself there. And I showed up for myself. I consistently showed up and put all of the effort that I was missing from that relationship into myself. For a majority of my relationship, I was sitting in my masculine. And maybe you feel this way too. I made all the decisions, I called the shots, I planned the dates. To help me shift into my feminine, I started doing really feminine things. I started taking pole dancing classes, which really helped me with my relationship with my femininity. I started doing yoga. I started taking the time to take care of myself, whether that's lotioning your body or doing your skincare routine or baking or cooking or whatever it is that makes you feel soft and nurturing and feminine and beautiful. That's what you should do. Take yourself to all the places that you wanted to go. Do all of the things that you wanted to do, but this time, do them for you. Number 2 is to create distance even if it hurts. Scientifically, after heartbreak, your nervous system is in fight or flight. And if you've been around somebody for so long and you don't see them again, it's almost like your body is going through withdrawal. I was still seeing my ex for about 6 to 8 months after we broke up. And let me tell you, things don't get less painful. If anything, they get more painful. They get more messy. Block them, remove their number, delete the photos, and stop texting them. I guarantee it's gonna make your life easier in the long run. Start imagining your life as a book. This was just a chapter in your book. Maybe it was a really great chapter, or maybe it was a really terrible chapter. But at the end of the day, it was just a chapter in your book and not the entire book. You still have all of these chapters in your book to read, but you can't read them if you don't flip the page. So it's time to flip the page and move on to a different chapter. Number 3 is to cry. Now this part might be really easy for you, or it might be really hard for you, just like me. If it's hard for you to be a little bit more vulnerable than the average person, I want you to schedule some time to be sad. Like really sad. Like you can't get out of bed sad. But I want you to give yourself a date. 3 months down the line, you're not gonna be sad anymore. It's okay to feel bad for yourself right now. It's okay to feel sad for yourself right now, but you're gonna give yourself a date. And when that date comes, you're gonna sit there, look at the date, and tell yourself that you are not allowed to feel bad for yourself anymore. And I know this sounds really silly, but I want you to really think about how beautiful it is to have loved someone so deeply, to have felt something so deeply, to be so human. Just think about how beautiful that is. Imagine that you never went through heartbreak in your life, that everything just worked out for you all of the time. How boring would that life be? How would you know when you meet the love of your life if you didn't love somebody so wrongly before? You will retrain your mind to know and to think that these are just emotions. And guess what? Emotions fade. They always do. And this too shall pass. Number 4 is to make single friends. I did not have a single friend when my ex and I broke up. Story time. I remember one time, 2 weeks after my breakup, I have this friend named Peter. Peter started dating this girl named Sarah. And Peter and Sarah have actually started kind of developing their love at my birthday party the year before. So I was really, really happy for Peter and Sarah. I decided to hang out with Peter and Sarah and my best friend. And then my best friend invited her boyfriend. So there was the 5 of us. I remember we started playing charades and I didn't have a partner, but we played anyway, and honestly we had a great time. But when my friends left my apartment that night, I remember crying myself to sleep that night. I was so sad. I'm getting emotional, not because of my relationship, but just remembering the period of my life where I was so sad and just like okay, where were we? And for the next probably 3 months, I remember constantly hitting up my friends to hang out. All of my friends were always busy. You know, they were just busy, or they were double dating, or they were group dating, which is what we used to do all the time when I was in a relationship for 8 years. The funny thing is that your friends' lives don't just magically go on pause just because yours is falling apart. And that doesn't make them a bad friend. It's just a part of life. It's just you going through a cycle of different changes at a different time than them. I don't think that I made a single friend until 3 months after that. And that honestly changed everything. There's a certain girlhood when you're single and you're out with your single girlfriends, and it's one of the most exciting and rewarding and fun peak girlhood experiences. And if you're not sure how to meet them, I've met them on social media, going out, Bumble BFF. And if you can find one girlfriend that is going through heartbreak the same exact time that you are, girl, that is like finding a hidden gem. And I wish that for you. I manifest that for you. I'm crossing my hands and toes and fingers for you for that. Number 5 is to know that everything happens for a reason. If it was meant to work out, it would have worked out. If it was meant to be, it would be. If it was meant for you, it would not hurt this much. It would not be this hard. Because when things are meant for you, you will know. It will be easy. It will just click. You don't even have to fight for it. What hurts is you holding on to something that is truly not meant for you, because you cannot see right now that there is a better, bigger, brighter future for you. But because you cannot turn this page, because you cannot let this go, you can't see that future yet. But if you just release, if you just realize that what is meant for you will always be for you, you will just turn the chapter, turn the page, and know that something better will come along that is truly, truly, truly meant for you. Okay, number 6 is knowing that there are truly going to be some very lonely times. Especially if you've been with somebody for a long time, you're gonna have some lonely times. But you know what? Those are actually really, really good for you. Because in those lonely times is when you start saying yes to all of the things that is meant for you. It's through those lonely times that you actually fall in love with the things that you're supposed to do. It's in those lonely times where you actually start picking up those hobbies that you actually really, really love, and you can't believe that you've never done that before. It's in those lonely times where you say yes to that girlfriend for taking that trip, which ends up being one of the best trips of your life. It's in that lonely times where you say yes to going out with a new person, yes to hitting up that person that you always wanted to be friends with, but you never had the time, and now you have all of the time to go and be friends with them, and you can't believe that you've never been friends with them before because they're actually such a great friend. It's in those lonely times where you start finding your own independence and you start setting a new standard for the person that you are supposed to be and for the people that you are supposed to allow into your life. It's in those lonely times where you start showing up for yourself and you realize that another person is not supposed to be the love of your life. You are supposed to be the love of your life. And it's in those lonely times where you take all of that energy that you spent worrying if if they were cheating, worrying if they were going to change, worrying if they were going to put in more effort. And you take all of that energy and you just put it into yourself. It is going to be so rewarding that you are going to be a completely different person after this. You are the only person that you will have for the next 80 years. I don't care what anybody else says. You are the person that you are going to be with. Your body is the only body that you are going to have for the next 80 years. Your mind is the only place you are going to be for the next 80 years. So pour all of that love into yourself, pour all of that energy into yourself, and make this a good place to be. Make this a fun place to be. And I guarantee that when you are working on yourself and you are the best possible version of yourself, everything that you attract will be the best possible version, because your new standard will not allow anyone who doesn't love you or anybody who does not rise to where you are to even penetrate your being. And let me tell you, it's rewarding as hell. Okay, number 7 is to date when you are ready. I went through a lot of phases after my breakup. Boy crazy phase, I hate men phase, I don't care about anything phase, and I went on dates, admittedly before I was even ready. And the thing is about escaping your emotions and trying to cover them up with distractions is that when you sit and you're by yourself at the end of the day, those emotions come back. I'm not telling you to date before you're ready. I'm not telling you to date when you're ready. You should date whenever you want to. I'm not judging you. I'm just telling you from personal experience, when you do something before you're ready, most of the time it's going to be really disappointing. I'm almost approaching on 2 years of being single, and I'm not ready to meet my husband just yet. I'm ready to have fun, to be treated well again, potentially open up my heart again, but very carefully. I'm ready to have an adventure, and I'm ready to take things slow, but I'm not ready to be somebody else's partner yet. And that's okay. Society wants you to meet the love of your life by 28 and then get married by 30 and then have kids at 32. And let me tell you, after you go through this heartbreak, you will realize that it's better to be alone and be wise when choosing your husband than to be 45, sitting there, hating your life, wishing that you did not make the decisions that you made when you were 27 because you felt rushed, or all your friends were getting married, or everybody on Facebook was getting engaged, or you felt like your timeline was shifting and your mom kept telling you it's time to find a husband. So slow down, heal your heart, and most importantly, choose yourself. Fall in love with yourself first, because the person that you have for the rest of your life is not somebody else. The person that you have for the rest of your life is you. And it's nobody's job to love you except you. You are your own home for the rest of your life. Make it a nice place to be. If you made it to the end of this video, I want to say that I'm really proud of you, because even by clicking on this video, I know that you want to be better. You are going to make it through this. And I guarantee when you are sitting on this side, on the other side of your heartbreak, you're going to be a stronger, more resilient, badder bitch, and you're going to be happier, because there is probably a better and bigger and more beautiful plan for you. You just can't see it yet. And how magical is that? The beauty of not knowing. Thank you so much for watching this video, my angels. I read all my comments, so leave me any comments, questions, concerns below. And I love you guys so much. I hope you have the most magical day, and I will see you guys at the next video. Bye!